Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another episode of the NHL 22 Wishlist series where I go through all of your comments and ideas and feedback for what you think should be in NHL 22, specifically pertaining to HUT, but we can do other things as well. And I'll go through and tell you if, that's a good idea, if I agree, if I disagree, why, and all of that. So guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel as I'm going to be doing this throughout the rest of the summer, as well as all of the most up-to-date news and info on NHL 22. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel with notifications on so that you get that info first. Also, guys, before we get into the video, my code for G Fuel is 30% off this weekend. Using code NOSLEEVES, you'll save 30% off your entire order. So if you're looking to try a new flavor or restock, use code NOSLEEVES. All right, let's get into it, guys. We'll start first with the comments down at the bottom. Tim Williams is first, and then Keaton Brown goes, get overall right, AM Drew Doughty. I mean, so you think that they should lower Drew Doughty's overall? Well, I agree with that. All right, Dan Massinen says, do you think the PS5 version will be that much better than the PS4? Graphics, gameplay, and even finding a game sometimes feels like it takes forever. I think what a lot of people are forgetting about when it comes to the new game is that this is a gen jump. So I do a series, or I do a stream usually, where I play every single EA NHL video game starting at NHL 92 all the way up to the recent launch. And I usually do it about one stream, but in September, I'm doing it one game a day. So if you guys want to check that out, Twitch link is down below. And what is stunning is when you go from PS1 to PS2, PS2 to PS3, you forget how incredible the graphic jump is. And I think everyone's going to be pretty stunned at the PS5 and Xbox Series X version. It is going to look incredible in terms of graphics. That's 100%. In terms of gameplay, even though that they're doing, an Xbox One, an Xbox Series X, a PS4 and PS5 game, the gameplay shouldn't be impacted. And I can't give you a correct answer on that until, we get the launch and we see what happens when all of the games are played. But finding a game in the menus, that 100% will be impacted, just because not so much finding a game. Well, it depends on what console you play on and if there's actually a player base, because there's no cross console or cross gen, which is a joke. But nonetheless, if I did a video when Xbox Series X first came out, and it is very fast compared to the Xbox One. So keep that in mind. But the graphics, yeah, you're going to be pretty stunned. It's very, very refreshing to see a big jump in graphics. Dusty McDaniel says, thumbnail is fire. Thank you, my man. Tymo, another streamer and YouTuber, made this thumbnail. I love it. He does great work. Two-Man Advantage says, there's nothing like a brand new hut. I love starting new and building it. Yeah, absolutely. NHL, like hut, for specifically talking to hut players, October, November is just so much fun. It is the reason why I started, or I do this for a living. Those 2 months are just, there's something that a lot of people forget about when, as the season goes along, about HUT progressing and getting to, 99 and whatever. When the game is launched, that is how the game is intended to be played and how it is meant to be done. Versus is how the game is meant to be played, 1v1. And HUT, obviously, because it's an Ultimate Team mode, they've got to progress overalls or just no one would want to play. And, yeah, the first 2 months are so much fun. I can't wait, honestly. Andrew Fleming says, scoring clock on top. Man, I remember flying out to Vancouver. It was my first ever Game Changer event, and it was for NHL 19 or 20. Was 20 the first one? I think it was 20. Yeah, so this would have been 2019 for NHL 20. And I got my first look at it. And the very first impression I had when playing it is you play going up. You don't play going down. And there's times where you have to ignore the clock because you're skating up and you have to bring your eyes off of the play to look at the clock. I think that that was my first immediate feedback, and it still is, because while I think it makes it less cluttered, when you're playing and when you need to know the score and everything like that, you don't want to take your eyes off of the play, and that's what it forces you to do. So I agree. I wish I went back to the more classic one. Yeah, it's Big Mark says, skate out animation like walkout in MLB, diamond pack pulls. Unpopular opinion maybe, but I like the player chemistry boost for lines. The collection sets needs to be a thing from the beginning so every single card has value. A couple things here. I would love animations. I mean, the one thing I will say is that the icon animations in NHL since NHL 20, really cool. Like I think those are sweet. I think everyone can agree with the the play out and coming out like that. But yeah, when you pull something sweet and it's just like purple for a second and it's like, oh, base Vasilevsky, yeah, that kind of sucks. I agree, but I don't know if we're gonna get that. That's yeah, I doubt it, man. That would be sweet though. I'm not gonna lie. The chemistry boost for lines. Okay, so he's talking for anyone that doesn't know, he's talking about an NHL 14 to or 13 or whatever one was until like 16. Was that the last one? Where basically you got a chemistry for your line and it boosted the overall attribute. So if you had like three players from the same team, a shooter, sniper, power forward, or whatever, they all went together and they got attribute boost. The thing I hate about that is what you see now in 21 and 20 with synergies is that we're getting so far away from using the players that we want. And I hate that. Like, in my opinion, get rid of team-based synergies. I want to be able to use Logan Couture, Tomas Hertl. Like, I want to be able to use them, and I simply can't because I play this game at a high enough level where I need to compete against other high-end players, and I'm putting myself at a detriment because I can't compete with the players I want to play. Kind of sucks. Like, that's what I thought Ultimate Team mode should be about. So I disagree with that one. I understand the sentiment to freshen it up. I do think that the synergy system, get rid of team-based synergies, keep player-based synergies, and that will significantly change team building. And then the collection sets need to be a thing from the beginning so every card has value. I have been a gigantic advocate for this in the Game Changer program, specifically for the OHL or the CHL. I think that there should be one for bronze and silver cards because if you collect those, like I said, I'll use this example all the time, is that if I collected all the Niagara Ice Dogs, I got an 86 or an 87 Alex Pietrangelo or Dougie Hamilton, for example. That would be sweet, and that should be for every single team. And I agree, it should be from the start. I think one thing that can't happen, so I get this talked about a lot as well, is what MLB does, where you collect every single base card or every single live series card, and you end up getting Chipper Jones, and that's a 99 overall. That can't happen in HUT on that scale because a 99 overall in NHL, in a hockey video game, is so much further an advantage than MLB because the skill in MLB, regardless of Chipper Jones being amazing, he gives you an advantage. It makes it a little bit easier. But if you can't catch the high heat, it does not matter. If you can't lay off a changeup or a slider away, having a 99 overall card doesn't matter. Having a 60 overall card would give you the same result. Whereas in NHL, you could get any Tommy Two Thumbs to just get across the line with a Wayne Gretzky and just haul off a slap shot from 40 feet out, and it'll go in early on in the game. So, I think it needs to be tiered, though. So my recommendation, team builder sets need to be in the game, 100%. The problem is that it needs to be addressed early and explained early on that if you collect all the team builder sets, let's say early on you get all of the base cards and you get a 92 Jerome McGinley, but that Jerome McGinley in 2 months will go up to a 95 and then a 99, and it's guaranteed, and don't make it cost anymore. Like, you've already done it all the most expensive time. Don't make it cost anymore. Just when the month comes, bam, that card goes up. That's how I think it should be done. It keeps everything fresh. It keeps the chase going on long and long. And I think that's how you fix that. Raheel V says, parallels in Hockey Ultimate Team. If I grind and always play with my favorite players in 82, goal to be nice in my card of parallel and upgrade 1 to 5 overalls. Make it specific to the account like MLB Diamond Dynasty so that the market doesn't suffer. Pack toppers like Madden. If I spend $60 in NHL, let me buy a bundle of packs with a topper guaranteed 85 card or something. Both of them, 100% agree. In my personal wish list for NHL 22, if you want to go back and watch that, my number one thing is parallels. That should not just be in NHL. That should be in every single Ultimate Team mode. If you don't know what parallels is, guys, in MLB, the more you perform with a specific player, David Ortiz, for example, the more home runs and bats and hits and everything you get with that player, he will eventually level up until he gets to level 5, and that's the max, and all of his overalls go up +5. That would be incredible for NHL, especially NHL, because, the mode is so empty. There's not a lot to do. Rival squad battles, hut rush, champs. That's it. give us some. And the content team did a decent job working around the limited things that they have to actually give you content. But it significantly increases the grind and chase. Like, I'll go and play squad battles or hut rush with whatever card I'm trying to parallel if it gave me that. Like, that would be phenomenal. Pack toppers like Madden. So as you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I spent a lot of money on my team early on. Again, content, it's my job, and I like doing it. I don't recommend anyone spending money on the game, but if you do, there were so many times where I ripped $100 in packs and I got nothing. Nothing. Base cards. And then the argument was like, well, you at least got gold collectibles. That's garbage. No, that's so stupid. I can't stand it. If I'm spending a certain amount of money, give me something. The lack of guaranteed rewards in this game is one of the biggest downfalls in Hut. And even for people that spend money, there's no guarantees, which is just, to be honest, give me back that $100 pack. If you guys remember that, they did that in, I think, NHL 19. They tried it out or tested it out. My goodness. And it was funny because everyone was like, what a money grab. Where, if you guys don't remember it was $100 and you got a choice of 5 legends, or 3 out of the 5. So you could get Teemu Solani and a couple other guys. And I would do that over and over again if it meant not ripping out base packs and getting absolutely nothing for 2 hours. Like, it's just... Brandon Anderson, I left a comment about making untradables tradables. It would open up the market so much and allow people to not just think about coins in it all, and it would allow people to trade for rare cards that possibly other players wouldn't get. Would love to be able to trade someone a card I just can't use for something that I could use. So, yeah, the untradable problem, I agree. I think that there should be certain cards you have to make untradable. Because what would end up happening is that you would just plummet the market. It would absolutely just shatter it. If you made like the Gretzky, all of those guys, you'd get guys that would just farm out certain players and just make all the money in the world, all the coins in the world, which isn't bad, but not enough people have access to making coins because it's so difficult to make coins in this game. That being said, I think 100%. I don't think the only cards I think should be untradable are the Hut Champs cards, and I think there should be more of them. And I think my example was make Rivals 2 weeks long, and when you hit a certain level in Rivals, you get a guaranteed event card tied to that, and you pick it out of whatever the new event is. Let's say it's Lit versus Grit. You get specific Rivals rewards, and you get to choose one of 6 players, and they're not master items. They're like lower than that, but still they're guaranteed. Those would be untradable. And any cards that you trade in for a set. So let's say you made Jerome Iginla. If you shouldn't lose all those base cards, they should just become untradable. That's all. West Coast vibes. So you said it's not pay to win, i.e. you would win most of the games you play, and then you said they should have 90 overall Hut champs because people like you with that team kind of said one thing and then said another. Okay, so I'll explain what he means here and why that might have sounded confusing. So overall, as a general video game, I do not think NHL is pay to win. I think that if you give someone that is good at the game, a average team, and let's say at launch of the game, okay? If they open up their starter packs and a base card team, they would still pound a bad player or an average player with an icon team. Like, it's not even close because of how, someone with great vision, you really can't top that. Even though everyone's like, well, whoever's faster win, that's not the case because when someone knows how to play defense, like, that doesn't matter. What I mean about Hut Champs having a 90 overall, so that people like you can't, with that team, Hut Champs is designed to be the most competitive mode in the game, okay? The most competitive. There should be rein in the high overalls on that mode to make it more competitive. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you give someone who is an unbelievable pro player and they spend $1,000 on the game, the advantage over facing another pro player, then they have an advantage. And because Hut Champs is the only mode, guys, I apologize, is the only mode that should be tailored to the 1% of the game, the top end players. It is not meant for the average Joe that plays the game a couple hours a week. Hut Champs is not. It's a grind, and it is designed for the best players in the world of the game. It should be more competitive. Like, there's a reason why people want GWC to be versus, because everyone's on the even playing field. That's a lot how I feel like Hut Champs. Now, it shouldn't be that you have to have the same cards. No, 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 because it's Ultimate Team. But there should be a choice that you have to make in your lineup so that it's not all dominant. If you want to have the 92 Wayne Gretzky on your team, you're probably gonna have a bronze card or a silver card on your fourth line. You want to risk it, go ahead. But that's what I mean by that. I think Hut Champs should be a little bit closer, just so that it isn't just, you'll get, and why I mean that, why it's not pay to win, because at the top, the gap is less. So the pro players, the gap is smaller. So if you give someone, a pro player, a god tier team over another pro player with a base team, that's where you're going to see, a little bit higher advantage. So Brandon Anderson says, I don't understand the Lefleur thing. I must be the only one who didn't like him. Probably has to do with me not liking right-handed players as much. That might be it. I don't like lefties, and I'm a lefty in real life. So I don't know why. It's very weird. I don't like righty defensemen either, for whatever reason. If you go and look at your stats throughout the year and go look at your highest performing players, it's telling how you can see how you play. I did a video on that a couple months ago about it. Like, it's just crazy how none of my right-handed defensemen ever scored. It was weird, but my lefties all did. Lefleur, man, Lefleur is easily one of the best cards. The bronze Lefleur was one of the best cards in NHL. Not even close. Like, they gave him too high of synergies before the meta was kind of solved, and it was like, okay. For Max Cato, I think Hut challenges need a revamp. Instead of playing a full game with periods, you should start a game in a game simulation. For example, you say you get player locked with Forsberg and have to score one-hander. Another thing that I have been begging for since I became a game changer. I don't see how they can add this in without EA as a whole investing more money in the NHL team. It's just a sad reality of it. I wish they did, because if you had some devs dedicated to making simulation challenges and moments, it would be incredible. This is the example I use all of the time. There should be a Sam Gagner scoring 8 points for the Oilers that one year in 2012, I think it was. Like, give me that. Like, you have to do that on the pro level. Get 8 points with Sam Gagner in a game, and make it. You can make it player locked. I mean, you can have them not even do line changes and still. And I think that'd be incredible. But yeah, man, like, it's a sad reality of it, man. Like, I make content for this game. I would, for anyone that thinks I blindly defend EA, it's not me disagreeing with someone's take on why the game is bad and why that wouldn't work. Is not me saying the game is good. If the better the game is, the more I thrive. So, I mean, guys, understand that I am on your side. I would love something like this. I think, literally, I've been begging for this since, I became a game changer in 2018. It's nuts. Jay, I think it'd be pretty cool and funny to throw mascot cards in the game. I just love to have UP on my blue line. It would ruin the actual feel of the game, but that's what Hut Rush is for, and I think that's funny. All right, so from Jeremy, he's got a long one. Some of my wish list. I want more stats to be displayed both in-game and in the menu. Specifically, I want to see shot attempts, block shots added to in-game stats. In the menus, I'd also like to see more stats for each card tracked, as well as a way to separate online and offline. Online offline needs to happen. I'm not a game developer and I don't code a game. It's disgusting to me that the online offline can't just be separated. I can't see that being a very difficult thing to implement. I hate that it is, and maybe it's because they don't want to segregate offline players, but man, you don't play online, so why are you flexing a record? You know what I mean? In-game shots and shot attempts and block shots. Block shots blocked. I mean, it's broken. And again, something I would love to see fixed. More stats would be cool. Like somebody mentioned for rivals, I think the rewards for squad battles should be plateaus, so that if you don't have to rely on RNG to get top rewards. 100%, man. You get into that top, a certain amount of points. Like if you get max points, let's just say you max out every game. Okay, so if you don't know how that squad battles, you got 5 goals and 20 shots every single refresh, and there's a chance you don't make top 100. Jokes. If you do that, you get max rewards. 100%, man. 100%. And I think the same thing about I mentioned that in my wish list series as well, is that yeah, there should be plateaus for there should be plateaus um, for rivals. So if you win, let's say it's 50 games and you get 1,000 points for a win, 35 wins gets you into diamond, and then you're there. It's not based on the how many people are just absolutely grinding the game like a like it's their job, like me, I guess. 100%. Make challenges less of a pain by making them end as soon as you complete the challenge. Yes, yes. This would be a huge quality of life. Once you score 4 goals, that's it. Let it end. Some better auction house features like last price sold, lowest price listed, average price in the last 7 days. 100%. 100%. The auction house is very bare, and this would be a really cool feature. And it would also save a lot of new players. A lot of new players, unless you're coming to like my channel or watching some other people content in terms of like how to make money in the game, you have no idea. Like, imagine you're a new player and you're going into the marketplace. You have no idea. Like, I agree, 100%. These are really good ideas, by the way. Let people quit out of Rivals and Champs and get partial Rivals points. For example, if you quit mid-game in Rivals, you should get 90 points for the first 5 golds and also 50 points each period. This would allow people to quit when getting killed in Rivals and still get points for what they've done so far and take the L. In Champs, it should be similar. Give people 150 Rivals points per period completed, and then we may see some quicker matches when one team clearly outclasses the other opponent. This change would essentially allow people to take a mercy loss and outmatch them. Both teams just move on. I don't think that... Here's the first issue with that. All you're going to get is people just quitting out of every single game. Because there's people that, because it would give you a certain threshold because you're getting points for quitting, right? I don't think that you should get points for quitting. The thing is I think that... So Rivals is intended to match you against your skill level, okay? It's intended. That's how Rivals works. It is skill-based matchmaking. I almost want to say you should not get points for a loss. Now that might sound harsh, but at a certain point, you're gonna fall into where you're supposed to be, and then you should be able to go 500. Unless you're in Division 10, you can't win a game. And if you can't, watch my channel. I'll be able to make you win games. That's no problem. But I think you should not receive anything. Because, again, I think that once it gets up and the game is clearly out of hand, they don't earn anything for staying in it. And I think that's what's happening. Lowering it, I think, still gives you the same issue. Get rid of them. Yeah, I think it should just be on losses, man. You don't get anything. I don't think you should earn Rivals rewards in Hut Champs. I think that the people that want to play Rivals, okay, and grind Rivals, let that be it. Hut Champs, there's rewards. Make them more rewards and more rewarding to more than just the top 20 and separate them, I think, in my opinion. I like a lot of your ideas, though. But that was why that number 5, I hope I explained it and why, and I hope you understand why that wouldn't really work or what my view on it is. Sam Molson says, imagine a Hut shootout battle royale. That'd be amazing. Dude, maybe when cross-console happens, I don't know why there isn't a shootout mode in Hut. Like, it's already in the game. Put it in. It's fast, or put it in Rush. Make it a thing for Rush. Like, all right, Recluse Bear. I would really love to have a way to play and get your favorite team cards all year long, not having to rely on gold collectibles to market. Example: the Flyers are my chosen favorite team every year. So add challenges during the year as an option to get players in my favorite team. It's difficult to make trades with a team of non-tradable cards. Here's the problem, Recluse Bear. All that's going to happen is everyone is going to take the Colorado Avalanche or the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Toronto Maple Leafs. And what you're going to do and what you're going to see is a gigantic influx of those players, and then that heavily impacts the market negatively. What I think there should be is, so imagine you had to, Madden does this, where you have to play through like a season offline and you get like rewards for it. I don't know if it should be a full 82 game season, but imagine you played 40 games with your Hut team against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and every 10 games and it could be start on rookie, pro, then superstar and whatever. So it's a grind. Maybe you get players that way. But the reason why you get, why people keep coming back. This is Ultimate Team mode, not just NHL, by the way, guys. If you had access to your favorite cards the whole time, why would you want to come and play the new content to get the new cards if you just had to do this one way? Do you see what I'm saying? I agree that you should be able to play with your favorite cards all the whole way through. It wouldn't be as exciting when like a new Crosby came out because you could just get one by playing offline is all. Guys, that was a ton of great feedback and comments. I love doing these videos, man. I love getting the discussion going. Let me know what you think. And again, I'll go through the comments on this video in the next one. I apologize if I didn't get to your comment in this one. I try to keep these videos about 20 minutes long. But guys, make sure you check me out on Twitch. I go live every single day at noon Eastern time. And my code for G Fuel is 30% off right now. Go use it, code no sleeves. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.